How do you help your teenager after they make a really dumb decision and mess up? Hi, my name's Pete. I'm a counsellor and dad of 5 kids, and today I'm going to talk about that topic while I clean my kitchen. So put your headphones in, find a job to do at home, clean your own kitchen if you like, and let's talk. Um, I'll give you three. I'll break it down into 3 steps for you. How to support your kids when they stuff up. And I'll use my son for an example. All right, step one is really important. This is what many of us don't do, is when our kids stuff up and they make a really stupid, dumb decision, give them an emotional and relational safety net. So what does that mean? Okay, so emotional means that I am not going to go off. I'm going to stay calm and I'm going to actually give them a big hug and, yeah, show them that I'm emotionally available. Because what's happening for them, even if your kids think, oh, it wasn't my fault, it was their fault, and they're just passing the blame on to someone else, deep down, there's actually this shame that's building up inside of them. And if I'm just going to go off, it's going to nail that shame in a bit deeper. Okay, so that's what I mean by emotional safety net. Don't go off, just stay calm, give them a hug, that kind of thing. And then relational safety net. So shame is a big deal. Shame erodes our identity. It erodes what we think about ourselves, that kind of thing. The antidote to that is relationships. So the moment your kid really stuffs up, you want to show them that they are still your kids, they're still a part of your family, you still love them very much, and that nothing they can actually do can ever stop that. So even if they major stuff up, you will still love them for who they are. Their behaviour might be rotten, but you can love them. You can separate those two. Okay? So my son, for example, so what did he do? He was at school, made a really, really dumb decision, and got suspended. School rang me up, said, this is what's happening, this is what's happened, his suspension starts right now. So we went down to McDonald's and got a meal and sat there and ate. A lot of people would say that's stupid. They'd say I'm rewarding his behavior, but no, I was not rewarding his behavior. What I was doing was showing him that no matter what he does, I will be okay, he will be okay, and our relationship will be okay. So we sat there, he didn't want to talk, it was okay, we ordered food, we ate. By that simple act, I showed him that nothing was going to come between us, not even his really stupid decision in the heat of the moment that he made at school. Okay, so that's what I mean by relational and emotional safety net. Give that to your kid. That's the first thing that they need to be able to move away from the shame that's building up inside of them. Okay, and that shame, they can't actually do anything with shame growing. The shame will wreck everything else. So we want to get rid of that. Step number 2. Okay. Step number 2 is let life be its own teacher. So when our kids make dumb decisions, there are some natural consequences that happen in life, especially like with teenagers. There's natural consequences. With my son, a natural consequence was that he was suspended. Another natural consequence was that his relationship with some other kids at school went downhill because of his decision. Yeah, so 2 big natural consequences there. So I let those play out. I did not march into that school and say, "You will not suspend my kid." I didn't march in and say, "It wasn't his fault, it was their fault. Are you suspending them? Make sure they get the same punishment." Didn't do any of that, okay? Because I was letting life be life's own teacher. There are some extra consequences you can add on top of that, but they must be linked. If you do, they must be linked to the original natural consequence. So the extra consequences for him were he didn't get technology while he was suspended, and while he was home, he had to work, he had to clean the house. I didn't have to clean the kitchen. That was great. He had to do his schoolwork, all those kind of things. So there were some extra natural consequences that I put in place and managed to make sure he was doing them, that kind of thing. I did not punish him. There was no punishment because these consequences are about learning. They're about helping him learn that if you make a dumb decision and you get suspended from school, then you're not having a holiday, but you're actually going to come home and work. So learning that dumb decision equals these consequences. Okay, if I was punishing him, then the difference is that a punishment is about driving that shame in even more and telling him he's a bad person, what he's done is awful, how could you do that, that kind of thing. So I didn't punish him. If I was punishing him, there's no way we would have gone to McDonald's. I don't know what I would have done. Yeah, I don't know. Would have taken technology off him for a month, maybe, as a way of punishing him. But I wasn't punishing him. So punishment is not about learning. Punishment's about driving shame. Consequences are about learning. So stick with the learning side. Okay? So that's step number 2. Let life be life's own teacher. Add some extra consequences, natural consequences, if you need to. Step number 3. Okay, so they've made this really dumb decision. You've given them emotional support, relational support. That's your emotional and relational safety net. You have allowed life to be life's own teacher and maybe added a couple extra natural consequences if you need to. Step number 3 is helping them relaunch and actually get back out there. They've stuffed up. They've learnt a thing or two. Now it's time to get back out there and try again. So for my son, well, what some parents do is actually change the kids' school so that their kids to try and get around this one. Or they'll do other things. Let's go do homeschooling instead, so you don't have to relaunch. It is actually really important to help them get back out into life, into wherever they stuffed up. Because otherwise their confidence just goes downhill. It does take you have to work through a lot of anxiety to get back out there, but in the end it's worth it. So after his 3-day suspension, he went back to school. Okay, how did I help him do that? First of all, I asked him, I said, "Hey, you ready to have a chat? Let's have a chat about this. What have you learnt from that experience, that kind of thing." I didn't force my wisdom on him, but I said, "Here's a few things I'm thinking. What are you thinking? What do you reckon you're going to do differently? If you find yourself in the same situation, what are you going to do then?" That kind of thing. What are the consequences going to be if you make the same choice again next time? So this is before he went back to school. So we're having this chat about different choices. Then I was really encouraging him, like, "You've got this, mate. I know you're stuffed up, but you've got this. You're learning, so you're able to control yourself better. And I really believe in you, and I believe you can get through this." So I was encouraging him. So he's got my support, he's got my encouragement, and I took him to school that morning. We had our interview with the principal or the deputy before he went back in, and I supported him through that. And then I walked away and I left him at school, and I trusted that he could do this. Okay, so I helped him relaunch. So that is 3 simple steps that you can use when your teenager stuffs up. Number 1, provide them with that relational safety net and emotional safety net. Number 2, let life be life's own teacher. Add some extra natural consequences if you need to. Often they're not needed. Often the natural consequences from life are enough. You don't need to add any more. Number 3, help them to relaunch and get them back out there. Don't take that away from them, because they need that to be able to build their confidence and move on into the future. So, hope that's helpful for you. If you like this video and you like getting your house clean, then while we talk, then subscribe and I'll put more videos up. All right, see ya.